Welcome to the watch list. I'm Lyndsay Malchuk. White Gold Corp just dropped a game-changing update, a 44% jump in indicated resources at its Golden Saddle and Arc deposits, putting the company firmly on the radar as one of the Yukon's top open-pit gold plays. It's a big statement that raises White Gold's profile not just locally, but in comparison to some heavy-hitting neighbors in the district. Now, here to break down all of that is David D'Onofrio, CEO of White Gold Corp. David, this is great news. Welcome to the show, and I can't wait to hear more about it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we are extremely excited. A huge accomplishment. Global resources now are 3 million ounces, open pit, high grade in Canada. You mentioned it's top tier in the Yukon. That's true. It's also one of the highest size grade profile deposits in Canada now. It's an
Perfect.
exceptional project, and happy to chat further about it.
Absolutely. Now, David, this new resource estimate, as I mentioned, shows that 44% jump in indicated ounces. What changed in the modeling that made such a big difference for you?
There's actually was a lot of extra gold that just wasn't being picked up in the way the wireframes were designed. We have fortunate to have some like extremely intelligent people on our team with expertise in that, and a lot of the work was done by prior operators several years ago, maybe a different gold price environment. I don't know what it was, not to discredit them, but we took all the data, we reinterpreted it, and lo and behold, we were able to have find so much more gold like in our pit without having to move an ounce of dirt, which is just phenomenal. And that's kind of historic, and that is just setting the stage for everything else we have planned for this year and the future, which I think is going to further increase this by orders of magnitude. It is now like we always thought this thing had exceptional potential, but the potential has now exceeded our expectations significantly.
That's fascinating already. Now, with this update pushing white gold into that top tier category alongside projects like Newmont's Coffee, how does that shape your strategy and edge in the district?
Well, we're very fortunate to, have these other types of projects near us. The coffee has just gone through a full permitting process, so we know we're in a great area where these things can actually come to fruition. Alongside of that is a tremendous amount of resource infrastructure investment by the government and the developers of that coffee project. We are actually going to be the number one benefactor of all that. Those roads will come right through our property package, and so now we have our 3 million ounces. That's going to grow substantially. But what's really also so unique about White Gold is the size of our land package. It's the largest land package in the Yukon, maybe one of the largest land packages in Canada or the world. And it is the very early days of the camp, what we believe. So with the infrastructure coming in, with the facilities coming in, we're going to be able to leverage that. And any ounce we find in the district is going to be economic because we can bring it to one of the facilities.
Well, let's unpack that just a little bit more then. With that 1.7 million ounce indicated and that 1.2 million inferred, I mean, what's the priority here, David? Is it fast tracking a PEA, drilling to tighten up more ounces, or chasing new targets across your land package?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's both. So this is the thing. This is what I love so much about White Gold and why we got involved in it, as its leading investors alongside of Agnico. You kind of get the best of both worlds. We have our meat and potatoes, which are these defined resources that are going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But we have a tremendous amount of blue sky potential on a number of grassroots targets. We've been working those up over the last several years. We just started drilling them. We've had tremendous new discovery success. One of our properties is actually right contiguous to Newmont's Coffee project. And as we go forward, we will continue to run that parallel path, making new discoveries and pushing our existing deposits down the preliminary economic path. I think that is what's really going to open people's eyes. What's so unique about this deposit is the grade. It is extremely high grade. It comes to the surface. It's the highest grade in the Yukon, and that should translate into phenomenal economics. And it's in a great part of the Yukon from an accessibility infrastructure perspective, which should make all the capex very manageable. What that translates into is phenomenal economics, NPV, IRR. And where I think, and we started these studies internally, we've seen them, we're very encouraged. That is all going to have to be updated with a lot more ounces, a much higher gold price than that we're in now. When we looked at these studies, and we're always conservative, right? When we get into these projects, we want to make sure we're as conservative as possible and the prize is as big as possible. And this has really checked the box. So when we have our additional ounces and what I think is going to come from the exploration work that's starting today, led by Dylan, who we were fortunate to just pick up, it's going to be exceptional.
Wow. I love the passion. I do love the passion. I want to flip over really quickly here. I know a couple months ago you did announce a new VP of Exploration. Tell us a little bit of the highlights of that.
It's exciting. We're so fortunate to get a guy like him. He was part of Great Bear. That's one of Canada's most high-profile discoveries. And he was there from day one. Took that from discovery right through to 8 million ounces of defined resources. And for him to look for his next project and pick white gold from any option he could have had in the world, I'm sure we were thrilled to do that. And from his perspective, and what really attracted him was exactly what we touched on. We have a great project, which he sees tremendous upside. He's actually opened our eyes to several new opportunities that we didn't even realize may exist. So that's very exciting. And again, this land package, it really kind of gets all the geologists excited. The Yukon is a phenomenal territory for its geological potential, and it has not seen the work that most other places in Canada have. So it's this brand new frontier. In our area, there's been 20 million ounces of gold mined out of Placer Creek. There's been no modern day exploration until our team started, led by Sean Ryan. So people see that, they're salivating. And to have this new frontier located in Canada, one of the best mining places in the world, it's almost like too good to be true, but this is the reality, and we're very fortunate to be a part of it.
Well, I'm sure that we just touched on the very tip of the iceberg. So thank you again that you're here. You're giving us some of those solid insights that really frames where white gold is headed. We'll definitely have to have you back.
Yeah, stay tuned. Drills are turning as we speak. I'm not in the Yukon right now. I just came back from there, and it's just tremendous to see the amount of interest and success that's happening across the territory. So the timing couldn't be better for all this, I don't think.
Amazing. Thank you again. Again, that was David D'Onofrio, CEO of White Gold Corp, pushing Yukon exploration into overdrive. Now, for their full story, be sure to head over to whitegoldcorp.ca. I'm Lyndsay Malchuk. We'll see you next time.